Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Thursday, January 27th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. It is just a two-game main slate, so a very, very small slate overall. One that I would recommend not investing a ton of money in tonight, and then going over my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings as well. But without further ado, we'll get into it with the recap of yesterday's picks. So we're going to start off with Ja Morant, who was our pivot off of James Harden after he was ruled out, $9,900. Looking for 50 points out, he got to 64.25, so he was a hit. Then at shooting guard, we had Gary Trent, $5,000, looking for 25 points out. He got to 40.25, so he was a really good hit as well. Then Cam Johnson, $4,300 at that small forward position, looking for 22 points out of him. Got to 22, so he was a hit as well. Pat Connaughton at $4,100, looking for 21 points out of him. He got to 20.25. I give it a push. You could still consider it a hit, but for the true hit, I would consider 20.5, but a push nonetheless. And then Jakob Poeltl at the center position, $6,200, looking for 31 points on him. He got to 46.25. He's been playing very, very well as of late, so he was a hit as well. So 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 on the DraftKings side, however you'd like to count it yesterday. And then we move over to the FanDuel side. We have Mike Conley at that point guard position, $5,800. Looking for 29 points out. He got to 32.8, so he was a hit as well. Jimmy Butler, $8,700. Looking for 44 points out of him. He got to 38.7. He ended up being a mess yesterday. This game was a blowout, though, so lost a couple minutes at the end. If he gets that, he probably pays off for his price tag. He was the James Harden replacement on the FanDuel side yesterday. Then in small forward, we have Pat Connaughton once again at $4,100. Looking for 21 points out. He got to 18.5. So technically he was a mess, but not a guy that killed you too bad overall. At power forward, we switched over to LaMarcus Aldridge once we got news that Deron Sharp and Nick Claxton both were not playing last night. And James Harden too, if you want to throw him in there. So he's $5,700, looking for 29 points out of him. He got to 29.6, so he was a hit as well. And then last but not least, we had Hassan Whiteside at the center position, $5,500, looking for 28 points out of him. He got to 36.2, so he was a hit as well. So 3 out of 5 on the FanDuel side. 7 or 8 out of 10 overall, just depending on how you counted the DraftKings side. So a pretty solid day all around. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries and play for tonight's slate. Once again, it is a small two-game slate. It does start at 7:30 Eastern time, and then the later game at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So the first game is the Lakers and the Philadelphia 76ers. So Lakers are without Kendrick Nunn. Anthony Davis listed as probable. Sekou Doumbouya listed as a game-time decision. Expected to play, but probably not in the rotation either way. Then for the Philadelphia 76ers, they are without Seth Curry, Shake Milton, and Ben Simmons. And then Danny Green listed as questionable. We'll see if he's back tonight or not. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Patrick Beverley is questionable once again. I believe he's missed the past 2 games. And then Jalen Noel listed as a game-time decision, but he did play last night. So not really too concerned about him. Golden State Warriors are without Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and James Wiseman. So no crazy changes there. That's just a quick little rundown on the injuries and play for tonight's slate. Mainly Patrick Beverley and Danny Green are the ones we're looking at, unless some other news pops up throughout the day. And if that does pop up throughout the day, I'll be sure to leave that down in the comments as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position. I'm going with Tyrese Maxey, $6,400, looking for 32 points out. He's averaging 30 points a game on the season. Currently having projected for 31 points tonight, which makes him one of the better value plays at that point guard position, at least early on tonight's slate. Then at shooting guard, we have Klay Thompson, $5,300, looking for 27 points out. Averaging about 24 on the season. We've seen a slight uptick in his minutes as of late. Probably not anything too major. I wouldn't expect more than 26 minutes once again tonight, but I currently have him projected for 27 points. Looks like a decent little value on tonight's slate overall. Then at small forward, we have Matisse Thybulle, who is $3,600, looking for 18 points out. I got projected for about 19 points tonight on the DraftKings side. A guy that's really defensive-minded, playing a lot of minutes. And, in terms of cheap players on tonight's slate, looking like one of the better options in that regard. Then at power forward, we have Tobias Harris, $7,300, looking for 37 points out. He's been on a tear as of late, averaging 36 points on the season, but he's been over 40 points the last 4 games out. DraftKings has not drafted that price tag yet, so Tobias Harris, definitely somebody that I'm going to be interested in playing once again tonight. Then last but not least, at that center position, I went with Kevon Looney. You could also go with Joel Embiid here. Obviously, Joel Embiid's been on a monster tear himself. I'm still probably going to end up playing Joel Embiid either way, but Kevon Looney, you can look at here at $4,700. Looking for 24 points out. I'm having projected for about 25 points tonight. Should have to play a couple extra minutes, especially with going against Karl Anthony Towns in this matchup tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the DraftKings side, you have $22,700 remaining, just over $7,500 per player. So you can definitely pay up for one stud, whether it's Joel Embiid, LeBron James, Steph Curry, whoever you want to pay up for there. And then from that point, you kind of have to just mix and match. It's just a 2-game slate, so not too many different options out there on tonight's slate overall. But with that being said, we'll move over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Tyrese Maxey, $5,800, looking for 29 points out, averaging almost 30 on the season on the FanDuel side as well. Currently having projected for 30 points, looking like a decent little value play on tonight's slate, especially at that point guard position. Then at shooting guard, we have D'Angelo Russell, $7,200, looking for 36 points at him, averaging about 35.5 so far on this season. Currently having projected for 36, 37 points tonight. Definitely could be a good game for him tonight. And if you're into revenge game narratives, D'Angelo Russell was a former member of the Golden State Warriors. Then at small forward, this is like the ugly position on FanDuel today. I went with Matisse Thybulle, $4,300, looking for 21, 22 points at him. Got him projected for about 20, 21 points. So he's not the greatest play in the world, but no, the steals and the blocks, they can really pay off on the FanDuel side. A cheap price tag definitely could do a lot worse than Matisse Thybulle on tonight's slate overall. Then at power forward, went with Kevon Looney here at $4,900. Looking for 24, 25 points. That's exactly what I have him projected for tonight. Should have to play a couple extra minutes against Karl Anthony Towns. So Kevon Looney looking like a decent little player on tonight's slate. Obviously, Tobias Harris looks pretty good as he's been on that tear as of late, but his price tag is just a little bit more inflated on the FanDuel side tonight. Then last but not least, we're going with Joel Embiid, $11,400. Looking for 57 points at him. Been on a tear lately, over 30 points per game in terms of real life scoring, like 12 or 13 straight games or 12 of 13 games, something like that. Just a crazy pace that he's been on. This team is really riding his back, and he's going to be a big factor once again tonight. So I currently have him projected for 58 points, but definitely has a little bit of upside for more as well, as we've seen in recent games. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $26,400 remaining, $6,600 per player. So maybe you could pay up just a little bit for somebody. Maybe it's a Tobias Harris, and then kind of pay down at all your other spots. It's going to be a day definitely where there's some mixing and matching going on, whether you spread the wealth or whether you're able to pay up just a little bit for a player and then kind of pay down at some other spots as well. But with that being said, these are my picks for FanDuel and DraftKings for today, January 27th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Heck, if you want to talk a little bit of Super Draft, definitely down to talk some Super Draft as well. JC Money Design and myself will be going live around 5 o'clock Central Time over on his channel, talking about this small 2-game slate for the Super Draft Pro contest tonight, or the NBA DFS main slate if you're not already subscribed to Super Draft Pro. If you're not already subscribed, definitely check that out. I can leave a link down in the comments below, or just feel free to reach out to me and I'll help you as much as possible with that as well. And then as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates, COVID news, and starting lineups. Probably not a lot tonight since there's only 2 games, but any news that does come out, I will list in the comments as well. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. I know fantasy football season is kind of over at this point in time, but as we get closer to the NFL draft, going to be looking at some NFL draft prospects, probably talking a little bit of dynasty fantasy football as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.